Hello everyone, how are you? I am welcoming you to another class of how to master IELTS in just 60 minutes. So, are you ready to conquer the IELTS exam with confidence? Just join in this class. This is again a continuation of the previous class, IELTS Academic Writing Task 1, and today we are going to discuss vocabulary. This vocabulary that we are going to discuss today is actually the vocabulary that we use in only writing task, academic writing task 1, not in 2. Okay. So this is the functional vocabulary as I have told you before, and we will discuss what are the different words which are used for different trends in graphs and in others like pie chart and different things. So before we start with the vocabulary, I want to just once again tell you in a very short manner what are you supposed to do in academic writing task 1. So the first thing that you need to do is always, as I've told you before, objectivity. So what is the objective? Instead of giving your personal thoughts or criticism on the task, you only need to describe the data. Okay, so instead focus on describing, comparing and organizing the data presented, whether it's in the form of a graph or a pie chart. Remember that target word count is approximately 150 words. Okay, now if you fall short of this 150 words you will be penalized. Okay, definitely you will be penalized, while if you exceed this limit then there will be no credit for that. So the first thing is task response, and in the next video I will discuss the other things. I'm only going to highlight. So the first thing is task response. I am going to write, so task response. The second thing is you need to paraphrase, like I told you in the previous class how you need to paraphrase. You will be paraphrasing by taking the topic. For example, here if the topic is the graph below represents the employment patterns in USA between 1930 and 2010, so you need to take that, replace the word below or presents with a similar word. As you can write like the graph shows or depicts or represents or illustrates the employment patterns in the USA between the years 1930 and 2010. So this is, as we call, paraphrasing. And if we uh, go to the next point, so you need to also have to do the time management. So the third thing would be time management. Because you are given 60 minutes, you need to spend approximately 20 minutes on this task, because you have to write an essay in task 2, so you will not be leaving too much for that, because you need at least 40-45 minutes for that. And the fourth thing here, I'm gonna remove this, is vocabulary range, which is our topic today. So we are going to see different vocabulary, which is the functional vocabulary, which is used in IELTS task 1. But we also need to see what is the vocabulary range. The examiner is looking how proficient a user you are in English language. So if you can use one time a word like happy. Then the next time you can use merry, merry. Then next time you can use another word which is a synonym of happy. So you need to show different levels. Likewise, if the word is secret, you can use secret, and then you can use the word conceal, and then which is a intermediate word, and then a high vocabulary word like arcane also means secret. So this shows the vocabulary range, and this is very important in IELTS writing. Also, number 5 would be structure. So what is the structure of your essay? There should be an introduction, there should be arguments, meaning description of that graph or pie chart, and then conclusion. Just like you need to be having a powerful flow. Then the final thing is conclusion and setting some trend. We will discuss that in the coming videos. So in order to put it in a very simple way, so the first thing is task response. Then we have lexical source, obviously. By lexical, I mean vocabulary. Coherence and cohesion, how organized your essays or your answer is. And grammatical range and accuracy also part of it. So these are few things that, and you can pause the video or you can take a screenshot and go back to the video if you have missed something, because I am using 3 to 4 things in one video, in one screen, so it is a bit difficult to maximize the size. So now let's come to our today's lecture, which is on vocabulary. So what is the vocabulary when you are using, when you are writing task 1? So the vocabulary need to be very specific. For example, if you are, pay attention please. So this is a, for example, this is a graph. Okay, so if you see an upward trend, if the value is increasing, okay, so what are the verbs that you can use? Rose to, okay, you can see in the screen. Increased to, went up, climbed or boomed. So you need to repeat one by one. You cannot use one word again and again. This is a big hurdle to your vocabulary range. So you can simply imply rose, increased, went up, climbed, boomed. And if you are using a noun, you can use a rise. There is a rise in the value, an increase, a growth, an upward trend, a boom, a dramatic rise. Okay. So for example, if we see this graph, and you can see this bluish line, okay, it it's going upward, and suddenly it booms, meaning there is a dramatic rise. If the value of any if any value goes, increases suddenly, so you will use the word dramatic rise or boom. Okay, so likewise, if there is something which is, if there is something, a value which is going downwards, now if anything goes downward, it can go either very gradually or slowly, or it is a sudden decline or fall. So what are the different words that you can use here? You can use fell to, declined, decreased, dipped, dropped, slumped, reduced. Like you cannot use the same word like fell to again and again. Okay, the repetition is totally prohibited. You need not to use, because if you want to attain a good band, at least 8 plus or 9 band, you're gonna do this. And also a decrease in nouns, a decline, a fall, a drop, a slump, a dramatic fall. So I can say, if we again look at this paragraph, I can say that the industrial sector, it sees, or it undergoes a dramatic decline, a dramatic reduction from the years, for example, 1960 to 2000. Okay, so we can see that whenever there is a question of a graph, you see, there is always these values. There is always something which is going upward. There is always something which is going downwards. So these are the words. You can take a screenshot as well again, or you can pause the video and you can write these words. So if the direction is upward, if the value is going upward, these are the verbs and nouns, and if it is going downwards, these are the words. But what happens if the value stays stable? So in that case, we will be using the words like leveled out, did not change, remain stable, remain stable, stayed constant, maintained at the same level. Or you can also use the words a leveling out, no change, bottoming out. So these are the verbs. Okay, so in case of a stable value, in case of a stable value, you, you can use these words. Okay, and finally, let's move it upwards. If the value fluctuates, or for example, if the value changes, ups and downs, to and fro, rise and fall. So if the value is fluctuating, if it is mathematic like a sinusoidal value, up and down, trough and crest. So if the value is fluctuating, showing different values, unstable, you can use the word fluctuated around, peaked at, stood at, a fluctuation reached a peak, fluctuation, you can use the word of fluctuation, reached a peak, or of some value, or reached. So you can say there is instability, you can use the word instability. So these are the different vocabulary words that, my dear, you are supposedly using in case of these four cases which I have. If it is a rise, if it is a fall or a decline, and if it is stable, going nowhere, maintaining itself, or if there is fluctuation, plus and minus, up and down, so these are the different vocabulary words that you are going to apply. I hope you are following this. Okay, and in this graph we can see all of that happening. We can see some values going up, we can see some values going down, we can see stable values, and we can also see fluctuation, meaning it's one year it's up and then it's down. So let me also show you a typical answer to that. So this is how you start it. Here, this is a model answer. Remember, you can have different answers up to your own style, meaning it doesn't mean that this is the final answer. This is one of the way that you can answer. So in 1930, 75% of the labor force in the USA was employed in farming, fishing, and foresting, while only 10% worked in sales and office and trade. At the same time, both the industrial sector and the technical, can you see that, like I told you in the start of the video, there is no suggestion, there is no creativity involved. It's simply translating the data into words using minimal language, meaning minimal word. You are not wasting any word, you are simply putting it on the paper. So this is how you can simply write some vocabulary. Okay, so this is not all. There is some other vocabulary which I'm going to show you very soon, which is also part of the technical language. Okay, and it starts here. So if you are increasing, if the value is increasing, so if the value is increasing, you can use the word increase to, increasing, has increased. And what is the example? So pay attention, please. So example is the total expenditure increased from 33,611 million to 39,165 million from 1995 to 1996. One example. Then if it is decreasing, you can use the same example. Expenditure on primary education decreases decreased from 22.2% to 21.5% from this year. This is how you put it. Can you see the value? The value, not only the value is there, but the way to put it. First, you expenditure on primary education decreased. Primary education is the category from this percentage to this percentage from this year to this year. So you can clearly see that you are basically managing this like this. So these are the examples. Now in case of any rising, okay, any raise, you can simply write the total expenditure rose from this value to this value from this year to this year. So the basic idea that you need to understand here is uh, you cannot leave it unaddressed. You have to systematically uh, write down the information with the exact year, exact percentage. And if we see the fall, so if there is the value is falling, something is falling, the trend is a fall, so expenditure on primary education fell, so you will use this term fell. Again, you can use drop. So these are the different vocabulary styles that you are going to use. Okay. Okay, so as we know that other than line graph there are bar charts as well. So this is a bar chart, this is how it look like. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and we are going to discuss that as well, but the main idea remains the same. Like task response is same, the vocabulary range is same, only the question type is different. Okay, so we are going to discuss that, but whatever we have learned you can simply apply that. And sometimes it's a pie chart, so same formula applies on pie chart as well. You don't need to do anything different, but you do understand that the pie chart, the total percentage always reaches up to 100%. So you're gonna add all these things and it's 100%. Again, same vocabulary that I've told you, I shared today, and you can do that as well. We are going to, I'm going to like record probably one more video on this, and we are going to do these questions one by one. Then a table can also come. Yes, this is how a table will come. Again, some students have asked me in the past and even today when I take online classes that there are too many values. How are we going to mention each value? Then the word limit will be more than that. Obviously, we are going to with practice we are going to mention the trends. For example, we are going to see what are the values which are no, which are stable, what are the values which are high, and we make a group of them. So for example, if in this case, if Canada and Austria are showing uh, one value, for example, the male and females are in this blah and blah, so we are putting them in one group. So we are trying to use less sentences so that we can reach up to that magical figure 150, because less than 150 words definitely penalized, and more than 150 words obviously you don't get credit for it, but still the main thing is to uh, write down all the important data. Then this is the most difficult one for many students, and I have been teaching. I have to, like, for more than 20 years. I've been teaching for 20 years. So I have seen that when there is a map, it's always difficult. And you have seen those IELTS books, IELTS 1, IELTS 2, Cambridge IELTS 1, 2, 3. They are not notes, they are only solved past papers. Okay, and the only book that as I am in Lahore, so the only book that is available here is like Barron's book, but again that's for international students, and normal students or desi students, they have trouble solving that. So a map is a bit difficult thing for many students. So when we will be discussing that, so we are going to uh, discuss that as well. But normally map randomly comes, they are the most least question for the examiner to pick, but definitely they can. However, even in the map, if you have proper understanding, but the vocabulary is this, the task, everything, the main ideas don't change, only the style will change. So a process can also come. And what is a process? This is a process. Just like if you remember, if some of you have studied science or fractional distillation in chemistry, so there is like this kind of a complete process, and you need to, again, you are not bothered with whatever it comes. The main idea is take the task, take the task and just write that data using the techniques I told you earlier in this video and in the previous video. Just use that data and write in your simple words using the technical, obviously the functional vocabulary. Then mixed chart. These are all past papers who have come. So sometimes, and this trend is very popular today, that the examiner gives two things instead of one. So it could be a pie chart and a graph or a bar graph. So in this way, so 20 minutes are divided into 10 minutes each. So you are expected to spend 10 minutes on the first figure and the 10 minutes on the second figure. The rest remains the same. So these are the different things. The most popular one are the line graph and the bar chart. When this reading will end, the reading video series, the writing video series, pardon me, then I'm going to share some apps which will be very helpful. And finally, the most important thing, how to do practice. So there are different apps and different websites, free websites. I'll put the link in description. Not now because it's not needed right now. You have to first learn this art of writing. So then you can do online test, and it will be much easier for you. So line graph and bar chart and pie chart, they are the most common ones normally, even in India or in Sri Lanka or Nepal, especially in Pakistan. And finally, when I used to teach in the class, most of the students, they were always asking me that why you don't speak Urdu. Alhamdulillah, I can speak Urdu very well. I am a native Urdu speaker. But the issue is this, that if I am doing a travel vlog, or if I am doing Urdu poetry, then obviously I will speak Urdu. मैं फिर उर्दू ही बोलूंगा. But the problem is that when you are doing IELTS, you cannot teach English in Urdu. I have seen plenty of videos on internet having lots of views and blah blah, but the main thing is that they are speaking in Urdu, or what you can call Hindi maybe. So I don't get it. You don't teach English in Urdu, yeah, or in other language. Okay, so you are teaching English in the language that it is supposed to be taught, which is English. So you teach the grammar of any language in the language that you are supposedly appearing or tested, and it is an international English language testing system. So one thing they need to understand, you need to improve your English, and that only improved will be improved if you continuously speak English, write English, listen to English, okay, and read English. And this technique have has always helped my students, and they have attained maximum band, which is 9. They have attained that. Why? Because I tell them, right now we are talking about writing, so I tell them to read novels, English novels, read newspapers. You can have an app like Washington Post or New York Times, a simple app in your mobile, and you can read it. And then you have a register or a copy or a notebook, whatever you want, and you can highlight those words, and you can put them in your notebook, and then write the meaning, and also is it a verb, or is it a noun, or is it an adjective. So when we will be doing the next video on writing task 2, whenever it will come, so I'm going to show you how to learn vocabulary. And vocabulary is very important, and not this functional vocabulary, the real one, meaning the simple one which you are going to use in the essay. But the main thing is that it's easy for me to speak in Urdu, it's better for me, but it's not good for you. As you are listening to me, you are actually, your readability is improving, your your English language vocabulary is improving, your listening skill is improving. Okay, so this is how I believe you can improve. If you tell your mind that I'm not going to speak or write or listen to English, listen to any other language other than English, as long as you are serious about appearing in the exam, this will help you a lot. So first thing, if right now we are doing writing, so you need to write a lot. Okay, instead of just writing pointers, need to write a lot. Okay, there are so many tasks available on task 1, you need to practice a lot. Okay, and then there is a model answer C. So it will, with practice you will gain this. Okay, and I have written this book, and many of my students have it. And if you can see, this is my WhatsApp number. So if you have completed your study, you can simply send me a message on WhatsApp, and I will review and give you band for free and tell you some mistakes. Okay, so this is one book. The other things I have been writing for like past 15-18 years. I am a Wikipedia mentioned author. I have been teaching, and I have written a book of poetry. It is still being sold on Amazon and Kindle. So you can learn more about me in the YouTube channel description. So what I was saying before I end the video is, if you want to understand that, if you want 9 band, okay, you you can get 9 band. The only thing is that, the only thing that why students don't get 9 band or 8.5 or 9, I'm not talking about those who have already got, I'm talking about those who are struggling, because they don't pay much attention to learning of English, or they don't pay much time to English. For example, if they are reading, they don't read newspapers, they don't have functional vocabulary, they don't have other vocabulary, they don't know the sentence structure. And when you are reading newspaper, you are improving your readability. So I have like cleared CSS exam, and I know how to do comprehension, how to clear it. Only if your readability means that you can understand English language much more. So the more you understand, the easier it is. When we'll come to the reading videos, I will show you that it is very easy to do the paragraph heading and other things only if you have readability and some techniques. Likewise in listening, okay, you cannot be 100% sure when of answering all the 40-41 questions of listening skill if your ears are not tuned to the English language, English accent. So I always tell my students to listen to BBC daily and do the passive listening. And that passive listening, do the active listening, pardon me. Passive listening means you just listen. Active listening means you have a notebook and you have a ballpoint or anything, and you are listening, and then you are adding the words or writing the words which are difficult, which you don't understand. Even if the spellings are wrong, you will put it on Google and it will correct you. Otherwise, other option is that first listen to the video of BBC, any news, BBC only, because IELTS is a British accent exam, so it is obviously under Cambridge, so you cannot listen to CNN. You need to be familiar with the British accent. So you can write down on the newspaper, on the notebook, and you can write down all the words, or you can turn the captions on after listening. First listen without the captions on. The second time you can turn the captions on YouTube and or BBC channel, wherever you are watching, and then you can write those and correct those words and add them in your notebook as vocabulary. So it will improve your learning. Again, obviously I'm talking about non-native speakers, or who's those who have English as a second language, just like me. So the native speakers, they don't have to have that kind of issue, but they have other issues. For example, in writing, if the technique is not there, so obviously they by native I means who are much more fluent in English, or who have good understanding of the English. So even the native speakers, when I was working on a international website, fanstory.com, I used to write poems and I used to review poems. So even the the native speakers, they have sometimes mistakes, lots of mistakes, because native means yes, you can speak English, but can you speak correct English or not? That's a big question. Anyhow, so the on the final thought, I will inshallah, I will in the next video, the remaining pie chart and table and map we are going to discuss in a brief. I think there will be maximum one or two videos on this, and hopefully you will learn. Now finally, what I need you to do is simply like it, share it, and kindly subscribe it. That is the only thing I want you to do, because you will, if you follow up the all these videos, you are paying nothing actually. It's totally free for you. It's a free content, and there is no subscription fee. There is no I'm not charging anything. And this is why, I mean, you need to understand this, that 90% of the videos that are on the internet, especially by the native speakers who are teaching you IELTS or British Council certified teachers, they are just showing a small video and they are telling you to join and pay. So this is a free content, totally free content. The basic purpose is for you to learn, and you can easily clear IELTS without even spending a single penny. Yeah, the exam fee that you have to pay, but other than that, and it doesn't matter which culture are you from, because it's an international exam. So the things are the same, and I will show at the end of these videos, once they are done, the excellent results of the students that I taught, and I have taught many students over the years, and they have come up with only those who listen, who understand. So this was again a very I try to make it more comprehensive, and because I have not used this mode of this mode of teaching. Before, I was always either online on a video call, and it was much easier. So I'm improving myself. I always believe in learning and improving, so I'm improving. And I'm getting used to these apps and these thing, and I'm using my mobile, and it's working fine as the day progresses, as the time passes on. So hopefully I'm gonna see you inshallah in the next video, and then we are going to finalize the other parts of the writing task one. Remember, 150 words, and you need to spend 20 minutes, and we are going to carry on with that. Okay, so thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.